Welcome, everyone, to the Think Different podcast. I know what you're thinking. It's been some time, and you are absolutely right. Some weird stuff has gone around the house, but we're finally back here together here right before the new year, here in 2021. That's right. This is being released the day before New Year's Eve, so you guys can get your Think Different podcast in, and we have returned. And I'm so happy to be here with every single one of you. And I appreciate your patience for us being gone for some time. But hey, we'll explain exactly what happened. But I am Will. I am TLD. I'm the former Apple Specialist Creative and Genius. And along with me every single week, of course, is the Apple Creative, retired book publisher, soccer mom recorder, Jurassic Park owner, black coffee drinker, juror number 12, the retirement home president, the keto trout drummer himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Frank Funk is here.
Hey, what's going on, man? Like that. So what's that Hawaiian shirt you got on there?
Actually, this is a shirt I got for Christmas. It has NWO on it. It's the Wolf Pack. In case anyone, that's where I got the shirt from. It's nice, man. These shirts get me so much action everywhere.
So
tell my wife.
Did Luke get a mini TLD mask for Christmas?
Well, first of all, TLD doesn't wear masks anymore. But two, it's funny. I sent my godson an autograph that says Uncle TLD. You might have saw it on the Instagrams, but he held that picture and was so upset with that autograph. I had to post it because it's perfect. So I actually got him a picture of me saying his number 2 fan because he's not my number 1 fan because I'm my own number 1 fan. And I put Uncle TLD on it and he absolutely loves it. It's in his room every night. And every night before he goes to bed, he says, good night.
Ooh, that's Uncle a scary TLD. Thought, looking at you every night before you go to bed, man. Ooh,
well, if my wife could do it, anybody can do
it. Yeah.
But anyway, we wanted to, first off, if you notice, I don't have my microphone in front of me. That is because I am recording on my brand new 2021 16-inch MacBook Pro because I wanted to hear how good the volume was. Apparently, the microphone array is so great, so I had to use it. And also, bam, my iPhone 13 Pro is here as well. So yes, since the last time we had a conversation, I bought a new computer and an iPhone. And yes, if you're wondering, I got a lot of Apple Cash because of that. So thank you for that. But we were gone for quite a while, and I don't know what was going on in this world, but there's been a lot of like flu symptoms going around. It's been pretty bad. In my house, literally, my wife got sick, my son got sick, I got sick, my wife got sick again, and then on top of it, the week before Christmas, I threw up. The week of Christmas, my wife, I threw up on the week before Christmas. My wife threw up on the week of Christmas. So we had 3 different viruses going around in our home. None of them were COVID because I got tested 3 times and I had no COVID at all. So this was just some kind of weird virus that went around to not only my family, I actually caught it from a kid's birthday party, believe it or not. So there you go. They were sick, and they were sick the week before that party. So that's how crazy of this happened. And then my brother-in-law was throwing up too. It was just like, it went everywhere around our family. So that's why for the last couple of weeks, we have not had an episode because I have been ill or my wife's been ill and I had to take care of the baby. It was just like a nuts.
Maybe you had some bad moussaka, huh?
I don't know what this has started all the way back from around Thanksgiving. Like, so we literally had weeks of weird things going around our home, but we're finally back to normal. Everyone's okay. It's like, geez, though, that's the hell I've been through.
Yeah, well, we've been things here at the ranch have been fine. Don't have any real major problems. So things are good, you know. I can't complain. Santa was good to me.
Good, man.
My wife was always good to me.
Yeah, Santa was great to me. I got a new bag for my video equipment, which is one of the main things I wanted. I love this shirt. I always love these kind of shirts. It's like very old school, old wrestling school. I get compliments every time I wear one of these shirts around. So So I love these kind of things and some minor stuff, but that was the major thing I wanted was my new camera bag. Because normally I'm holding
Well, wait,
both
you got a new computer, you got a new phone.
That's why I treated myself here. Let's get that straight. I saved up money from all the video gigs I did this year to pay for this. So that way I'm not doing any financing.
Wait a minute now.
Nothing. And I paid off my
wife,
debt.
happy life. What did you get Tara for Christmas?
I got her tickets to go see New Kids on the Block, In Vogue, Rick Ashley, and Salt and Pepper. That was the main gift I got. And I created a custom.
Where were they giving them away?
What's that?
Where were they giving them away?
I wasn't giving them away. I bought them things, buddy.
Did you really?
Yeah. Wow. Who doesn't want to go to that concert? That's a great concert to go to.
I'll raise my hand. I don't want to go to that concert.
Well, you were born in 1920 when music wasn't even existing
Salt and
yet.
Pepper. I know Salt and Pepper said, "Let's talk about sex, baby." Right? That's their song. New Kids on the Block. I took my daughter to see New Kids on the Block when she was a teenager, and she's 38 now.
Well, it's called the Mixtape Tour, and you weren't around when tapes were invented yet, but I was around when cassettes were like the thing. And the comment, yeah, see, there you go. He still has them in there. Oh, and speaking of cassettes, look what I bought. What is this from?
I have no idea, but
that is from Home Alone 2, the Talk Boy.
Oh.
I actually found a Talk Boy and I recorded it. So I'm going to say, welcome to the Think Different podcast. And then I can rewind it and play it. And there we go. It works when it wants to work, but
it must be a Sony product.
Yeah. No, it was actually, I think, a Tiger product. Tiger, I think, made this. Yep, Tiger Electronics made it.
Tiger Electronics.
So it's a working Talk Boy. So that's what I bought. So don't worry about my stuff. And by the way, Zevia, of course, is always here as our non-sponsor, of course.
There you go.
So that's everything caught up to what we've been going through the last month or so. But what we're here for is talking about the MacBook Pro and the iPhone, because these were the two things I got. And I have to say, when people review this MacBook Pro, the hype was real. Like, I really was looking forward to having this. I had not had a new computer in 5 years. The battery was dying. I was having a lot of problems with the computer. I documented it before. I wouldn't say a lot of problems, but I could tell it was time to change. And what I have now, and you can just see it in my video quality. Like, I used to use a GoPro to film myself because the camera was
don't look any better.
Well, I think I do. I think the clarity looks better. So
yeah, but
you're talking about me. I mean, no, you're absolutely right. So that I can't change that, folks. I'm sorry.
Okay, but I want to ask you some questions about your MacBook Pro.
All right. Well, the first thing I'm going to explain to you what I got, so that way everybody knows what model I have here. So I bought a 16-inch 2021 M1 Max memory at 32 gigs of store at 32 gigs, and I bought a 4 terabytes worth of storage. So that's what I got.
Okay. So now my first question: how are you loving the F keys?
So there are times only when I'm editing is when I had to use the keys on the top of the touch bar. Mm-hmm. However, I customized some keys on my keyboard to do the same things I did up there. So for Final Cut Pro, that I liked it for that. Siri is not a button. There's no button for Siri, which I'm a little surprised they would not do that. That's something that's missing that I would have thought maybe one of these keys could replace. Like dictation, for an example, if I touch it, dictate, which is the F5 key on here, you think they would make that a Siri button first and then a dictation button. What I like though is that they F4 key is like a spotlight search now, but I'm so used to doing command space bar, I'm not even going to ever use that. Right. I almost would rather customize that key and make it my Siri key. Mm-hmm. Just because I'll probably never use it, but I'm enjoying it because the main problem I always had was I accidentally hit the escape key all the time, and that's what annoyed me about it.
So now you won't do that.
It hasn't happened.
Right.
The Touch ID is really good. Nice, a much bigger button, faster response. So
I thought Siri could be activated with Hey Siri.
Hey Siri. Everybody's stuff went off. Well, my iPhone just went off. I probably didn't turn that on. Probably for a reason.
You want to check that out?
Oh, okay. Well, I'll check it out right now since you're so into it. But yes, it says listen for Hey Siri. I did not actually turn that on.
All right. Now, all right. So here's my question: 16-inch, 32 gig, 4 terabytes. Have you done any video editing on the fly?
I have.
And thumbs up, thumbs down.
If I had 3 thumbs, I'd give it 3 thumbs.
3 thumbs up. Whoa.
Yeah, 3 thumbs up. I'm going to tell you why. So, in my biggest test was I used compressor to export out a lot of my stuff, and there was one thing that I exported directly out of the video itself. Now, normally what we do as a video editor is you export out the big file, the QuickTime file. Right. That's like a ProRes, and then when you actually take care of it on the compressor side, it actually will be much faster than if you took it right from the timeline. Well, I did one directly from the timeline, and a almost hour-long video which had I did not render any footage, so there's no rendering. There's even some noise reduction put into it. Took 35 minutes and 55 seconds to export out that entire video. And that is super fast.
Good.
And without the fan going off, might I add.
Well, there you go. That's some pluses. So there again, that's
also
what you
when
bought
I played back a
for,
clip
right?
in the old machine, the noise reduction would never play. It would always skip. And that would never work. Here, it works perfectly fine. Even if I do multicam. So I usually sometimes have 3 cameras in one multicam. And the A7 footage would always get it was too much. Like the computer couldn't handle it. This one, no problem. I don't even have to use ProRes to even get it to work correctly, which I had to do before. So my workflow is much faster because I don't have to wait for what's called ProRes proxy footage, which would be a downgrade version of my video to play back smoothly inside of my timeline.
So you're doing all that within Logic.
Final Cut Pro.
Final Cut Logic, Pro. I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. Final Cut Pro. So no third-party software.
Nope.
Wow.
I've had no problems with any of the as far as like I use Rosetta for a couple of apps here, I've had no problem. When I actually first started one of the apps, it asked me to install Rosetta, so you have to do that prior to starting up an app, but then all of them have worked fine. I haven't had any issues with that whatsoever. So yep.
How about battery life?
Battery life has been tremendous on this.
Tremendous.
Like I'm also coming from a battery that was done on my old MacBook Pro. But first off, having MagSafe back has just been awesome. Like it's so much fast. It's also really the fast charging is great. Not only that, the USB-C charging is even a bonus. So now I can leave my MagSafe at home. I still have my old adapter from my old machine. I could use that to charge the machine. So it's like I never not have to carry around a charger anymore. Whether I go to work or I work upstairs or I work down here, I have everything.
But let me understand this. You can use the MagSafe to charge it or your USB-C port.
Yep.
Obviously, USB-C isn't as fast, correct?
It doesn't include the fast charging feature, and that's because of the power adapter.
Right.
So yes, if you want the fast charging feature, you do have to use the MagSafe.
Okay.
Now, by the way, for those who, my old computer, what I did, and I mentioned this, that I gave my old Mac back to Apple. So I shipped it to them. It was $690 was my value, which with tax, they refunded me $730 something back to my Apple card. So, and then I believe if I look at my value of Apple Cash, I got about $140 in Apple Cash. So that was my 3%.
There you go, man.
Yeah. So right now, and then on top of it with my iPhone, which we'll get to that, that also added some Apple Cash.
What is the one unexpected feature on your MacBook Pro that you really like?
I would say, probably using how fast the Touch ID reacts to opening this computer. Like when I lift this thing up and I touch my button, it's lightning quick. It can't get quicker.
Let me ask you.
So I could work so much faster because of it.
Do you have to depress the button or just put
your lay my finger on it?
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't touched any. I haven't gotten into the features of like recovery mode and all that, which I got to dive into.
Did you turn Firebolt on?
I always have Firebolt on. Yes, sir. Yeah, always have Firebolt on. You should not have that. I did restore from a backup, by the way, so I did bring everything over. Also, the screen is unbelievable. And this goes with the iPhone. Once you have like 120 hertz of the
refresh rate,
you can't go back. It really is just makes things so much smoother and quicker by having it. This display is gorgeous, by the way. I mean, you look terrific. Finally, you look terrific.
I always look terrific, buddy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You're a little fuzzy up around top of the head there. So.
Well, because I have no hair. That's why. So honestly, I also have the ability to do the blur mode in the background, which is way too much blur. It's like way too much. But yep.
So did you get to use the HDMI cable? HDMI.
Oh yeah, port? I have a TV right behind me. I have used it. It works no problem. I actually went to Luke's birthday because Luke's birthday happened while we were in the middle of this, and it's so nice not to have to use a dongle because you had to use an adapter. I have this. This was my adapter for my HDMI.
Yeah,
like it's got so much stuff on here, and now this whole cable I don't even need it anymore. It's useless to me. I do have to still use a USB-A cable for a couple things, so that's why this is still around. But even like connecting to my server, right here, I use the Ethernet adapter for it, and it's even that's so much faster to react, like to upload and start things. Like it's a big difference even through the port. Because remember, it's using Thunderbolt 4 now, so it might be. I don't know if that makes a difference, but it's much quicker to connect to my server and load things and make things move over. So. Yeah, I mean, the fact that I went to Luke's birthday, there was an HDMI. All I did was plug it right in. I didn't, you couldn't do that for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
As weird as that sounds, you had to get a dongle to do it.
Or you could use AirPlay.
Yeah, but you have to have an Apple TV, and then you have to have you technically don't have to have a Wi-Fi signal, but it's so much more setup, dude. It's just like plug and go,
Yeah.
Sometimes the easiest thing is just all you need.
That's it. Wow. So. What's the one thing you don't like?
People would say the notch is a problem. I don't think it's a problem. I always go full screen. And honestly, it's in the menu bar section where the menu bar would live anyway. The bezels are already small as it is. So I'm not going to lie. I don't know what I can't find about this that I don't like. There's nothing really like the keys are great. The trackpad is great. The sound is tremendous in this. Like the volume is just really loud. You could really light up a room with this. I can't find anything, right? I mean, maybe price. I mean that. I mean,
how about the weight?
What's that?
The weight.
I don't mind the weight. The weight is not a problem for me because my bag's already heavy with a whole bunch of stuff anyway. It's not.
Remember one of the things when they prior to discontinuing their 17-inch model, you remember how heavy that was.
That was very heavy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the only thing I was thinking with the 16. It might be.
It's definitely not the 17. It doesn't feel as heavy as that. I would compare it to the 15-inch with the CD drive in it before they went to the Retina. That's how I would say it's about that. And it still fits in my 15-inch sleeve, which is great. So I don't have to bother getting a new sleeve for it.
So even a petite woman would not have any problem lugging that around. Is that correct?
I think they would. I honestly think that they would think it's heavy if you're not used to it. But honestly, unless you're a video editor, there's no reason for you to get a 16-inch model. I mean, let's just get that straight right out of the bat.
So for someone like myself,
I would never tell you to get this model, but I will say if you want to get the 14-inch, I can understand why you would want it based on the design alone. Not so much the speed, the design of it. For having the ports, having the MagSafe, having the louder sound, having the getting rid of the touch bar. I think adding all the money that it costs extra to have all that is worth it. Because I would have told a lot of people don't get no one needs a 14-inch or 16-inch MacBook Pro. But I'm like, you know what? If you had a 15-inch MacBook Pro in the past and you're ready to, even if you're thinking about is it downgrading the size, if you really think about it, the display can put so much information on the screen if you just lower the resolution.
Right.
So it's like you can get all the room you need as long as you have good eyeyesight.
Well, here's my dilemma now. For someone like myself, I have a 27-inch iMac sitting. It's just what I'm using now. 5K, beautiful screen. Now, not my dilemma, but what I'm thinking is, should I go for the 14 or should I wait and see what they're going to do with the 27s next year?
Well, you're talking about a desktop compared to a laptop, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's I can't say that because do you want the portability or you don't? That's the way you have to answer it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to carry your 27-inch iMac around. You could. People came to the Apple Store all the time about it.
That's right.
But portability, it's up to you if you want the portability or you don't. That's just
I think that our listeners have to really define, like you said, define portability. If you're talking
iMac's
about
not a portable machine. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how thin it is. Portability, if you're talking about if you just want to go on there and look at email and stuff like that, and you already have a primary machine like a desktop or another laptop, get an iPad.
Right,
but if you're replacing a laptop or you're looking for a Mac OS on a portable way, the 14-inch will be great, but it all comes down to what happens with this new MacBook Air that's rumored coming out. Because the rumor is they're having a new design. They're going to have colors. They're going to include a new M2 chip in there, which we don't know what that's going to entail. And we don't know what the price difference is going to be. And if the 13-inch MacBook Pro, for whatever reason, is still around, which I don't know why anybody would want to buy that anymore. Right. It's a complete waste of time. This is like right now, that MacBook Pro is where the 12-inch MacBook was. And the 12-inch MacBook, remember, was more expensive than the Air, but it was 12 inches compared to 13. It's like, what? Like, it was so hard to sell that.
Yeah.
My wife has one, but I mean, really, what good is it?
Yeah. I used to tell people that if you define portability as taking your iMac from one room to the other, that is certainly doable in your home, like taking it from your den, putting it in your living room for whatever, or taking it down to the family room in the basement. That's one thing. But if you're talking about, if you define portability as folding it up, taking it with you wherever you go, taking it to Florida, to Jamaica, or wherever you're going, then that's a little different story.
Right.
And so I think that's what I have to determine. What do I want? Now, my 27, I can't upgrade to the latest operating system now. Okay. So that's the other bridge I have to cross. Yeah.
I think the 27-inch is going to be aimed towards pro designers again. I think they're going to leave the iMac 24-inch more on for the consumer. So I would tell you the iMac that's out now is perfectly fine because I think they're not going to introduce a newer iMac or or if they introduce a 27-inch iMac but keep all the same things they had in the 24, it's not going to be this grand announcement.
Yeah. Oh no. I was thinking that they would do the 27 with a, believe it or not, with a better screen, an OLED screen. And the start with the M1 Pro chip and then just build from there. Mm-hmm. If, with any configuration you wanted. But who knows? Or maybe an M2 chip. I don't know. We'll see. They're saying that it may be as early as March, so it's we'll have to just wait and see.
Mm-hmm. True. So how much do you think I paid for this computer plus AppleCare?
Well, I think the last time when we did, you said you were in for the about 7,000 or 8,000 for the iPad and the MacBook Pro. And then another 11 for the phone, right?
Well, that would be a lot of money for a computer. So you're way past that.
But I thought
the computer doesn't the highest mount computer doesn't cost more than like $6,400. So this computer plus AppleCare was $4,077 for this. Now that is with the 15% discount, might I add.
Oh, okay. All right.
So don't add the 50. So if you have 50% on top of that, that's how much money I would have paid. That's crazy. Like I said, the downfall of this is the price. It's way up there.
Well, but
you're talking another 61. So I'm just doing the math now. I would have paid roughly around, let me see here. It would have been almost like $4,700 if I didn't have the discount.
Yes, but don't forget, you're doing this as a business.
Right.
So it's a business expense. You can depreciate it. So, you're in a little different situation.
You are right. You are right. Not everyone's in the same situation I am.
And I mean, let's face it, like you said, the machine that you have is not something that you would recommend for somebody like myself that wants to take videos of their grandkids.
Right. No.
Yeah. So
I will tell you right now, depending on what happens with the MacBook Air, I will tell you to buy this machine. Like, this is a breakthrough machine in computing.
Now,
because of that, how fast it is, how good the screen is for the quality of the screen, for the power that it's allowing me to work on my workflow. So now all my jobs get done faster because of that.
So let me ask you this. Now, you said
having the SD card back, by the way, I was able to use the SD card.
So you paid $4,000 for the machine. Now, let's look at it this way. Is it a good value for the money? Do you get your money's worth?
I will say yes, because I don't expect this machine to give me any issues for speed or hardware perspective compared to my last one.
Okay, so
at least that's my expectation, because if I don't upgrade my camera, let's say in the next 3 years, which right now I don't have any plans to, I know for 3 years at least I'm set, because I don't think I'm going to be changing my camera anytime soon. I don't think I'm going to be upgrading. I'm buying a new camera that's like a second camera, but beyond that, and I'll see it because I'm going to have 3 4K streams of footage between my phone, my camera, and then the other camera I plan on buying for next year. So we got to see how that reacts to when I have now 3 streams of 4K.
If this computer, now your other computer you said you had for 5 years, correct? So if this computer lasts you 4 years, it's cost you $1,000 a year for a computer.
Right.
It's not bad.
No. For what I'm doing, for what I need it for, right. It's totally worth it. So, I buy a MacBook Pro. It's the best electronic product that came out this year. There is no other product to me that came out that has impacted my life like this one has.
Now,
that's a pretty big statement.
How do you feel? Do you think that would you put this up against any Windows product?
Well, I can't tell because I'm not a Windows user, so I couldn't compare it. But I will say I have other people who are in my office that use a Windows, and again, it just doesn't, like, even the other guy who's a Windows user saw it and look how good it looked. It looks good, it performs good, it's fast, and it's a Mac. So
now you said that when you were doing some editing, the fans didn't come on.
Not at all. I haven't heard the fans since I've had it.
All right. So how long were you running it? And
well, you got to think, compressor, the job was a 35-minute job, and Final Cut Pro is also still open at the time while it's doing the compression.
Right.
Also, I have turned on a setting, because in here you have a special setting you could do. So when it's on the power adapter, there's something called energy mode, which the Mac will optimize performance to better support resource intensive tasks, which could produce fan noise. When it's on the battery, it's on like an automatic mode. I have still not heard these fans, even in that high power mode.
Okay.
I think that just tells you, like, it's like, I don't know what they create. Hopefully there's no quality program that's really bad on these guys, because quality programs come out within like a year or two after having it. But man, you can't You can't beat it right now.
So right now you're pretty happy. We'll have
I'm
to do a
extremely
follow-up. We'll have to do a follow-up in 6 months and see.
I don't think
see
it's
where
going to
you are.
change. I don't think it's going to change.
Well,
But as far as the iPhone goes, like so I got the iPhone 13 and I didn't get the Max because I didn't want the Max. But first thing I will say is I am so loving the speed of the screen here. The 120 hertz just to move things around is just so much faster compared to the 60 hertz. You will not want to go back to a 60 hertz screen once you have the screen.
so that's the iPhone 13 Max.
Yep. No, I got the iPhone 13 Pro,
Okay.
not the Max. I didn't get the bigger screen.
Okay.
As far as photography goes, I haven't really gotten out there to do video or anything, but I will say that it's pretty good. Again, it's the low light is still a problem. I don't think that was ever going to change no matter what they come out with. There's not really any phone on the market that really does good low light in this. But when I looked at this phone, I realized to myself, if I was to ask Apple to make a product for 2022 or 2023, why can't Apple make a DSLR camera? You know, if you put their software in that kind of camera, and then you could use interchangeable lenses. But they have like the sensor is so good and the software is so good, and it works with iCloud. Imagine your footage on your DSLR just comes right into your computer wirelessly. Like that's like, to me, that's like a
sounds like I gotta call Tim.
Yeah, instead of working on a stupid car for the last 15 years, why don't we work that has no progress whatsoever? Why don't we come out with a product that people would like? And imagine a really good camera for like $2,000 that that works with your iPhone, works with your Mac, and they use a lot of their technology, like the cinematic mode and all the different things they have in here. Why not put that inside?
Have you used the cinematic mode when it focuses on two people?
Yeah, I tested it out real quickly. I'll have to use it when I'm actually out in the field. I don't think I could find a time when I'm shooting my son or I am, to remember to do that.
Let's clarify that you're photographing your son. You're not shooting your son.
Yeah, not yet. He doesn't deserve to be shot yet. So, but that's my feeling on it. I'll be honest though, the battery's not that great. I thought it'd be better than what it was. It's not.
Okay.
I also sold my old iPhone 11 for $400. But the good thing about all that is I got to keep my power adapters and my wire, because my biggest complaint with the 12 was that, it didn't come with the power adapter,
charger,
which
right.
Again, it was too soon to make that jump with USB-C to USB to the lightning cable, because not everyone had a product that charges like that. So that was my biggest jump. But because I was smart and I gave it to Apple for $400, if I had to sell it to somebody else, I would have had to give the power adapter away, or I could maybe find a 5-watt if I want to be cheap and give that away. But and then also the battery was almost going on that one too. So that would have been another $70. It wasn't worth it. I would have rather have gave it to Apple and they'll refund my Apple card and I'll get the money back on the Apple card and that'll be it. And that's what I did. Normally I don't trade into Apple, but I thought 400 was quite fair from what I saw how much it was being sold for.
Well, I think I'll be ready for a new one next year. So I'll get the 14. I just felt that the 13, not that it didn't offer enough stuff. I just felt like, I think for me, 2 years, is a good jump.
Yeah,
to trade it in every year.
Yeah, I would tell everyone to do that from now on. I don't think every year it's for like YouTubers, but it's not for someone like us.
Yeah,
even for me, it was not worth getting the 12, especially with all the backlash I had on it. I was just so not ready for that change. And actually, I was smart too. I didn't move the SIM card over because you couldn't. It's a different SIM card. So I activated the eSIM. I called Verizon and they activated the eSIM inside. So this doesn't have a SIM card right now. So that way I don't have to deal with the fact that the SIM card is like jolting or not working right.
Right.
So that was actually a Zuber idea, which was a great idea by him. So I called Verizon. They activated the eSIM. I had a little trouble getting it going at first, but eventually it worked.
Okay. So explain the eSIM to us.
Well, remember, you have a SIM card tray, and
Right.
then internally there is an eSIM, and that's allowing you to do two different phone numbers on the same phone. That came out.
Yes.
So
that's now available on every phone.
Yes.
So if you had a business line and a personal line, you could get both of them on through the same phone.
Yeah. So dual SIM, I think that from what I understand, that started on the iPhone 10R, if for dual SIM. But but because the SIM card had to be different this year because it wasn't the same SIM card anymore, Zuber just told me, why don't you just go get the eSIM activated? Verizon has a website where you're allowed to scan the eSIM and activate it yourself, but it wasn't working for me for some reason, so I had to.
And it's
call
the same
them.
number.
Yeah, same number. Mm-hmm. So that was much better than getting the SIM card itself. So I'm happy to have that. And honestly, I'm very happy with the camera. I think it looks great. Like I said, the biggest thing for me is the speed and the screen quality. And once I get out there in the field and do video, I already know it's going to be really good, especially in regular sunlight. It's going to look tremendous. But low light, I'll have to be the real judge on that because low light's always been the biggest problem with it. But
well, I'll tell you, I mean, it's certainly going to be a step up for my 12, and I'm just astonished by the videos that I took this year of my grandson's football team. Now I'm up in the bleachers, up by the announcer's box, using the Zoom, and I'm telling you, it's crystal clear, clear. It's amazing.
Like I'm looking at like a picture of my wife, and I can see all like the wrinkles in her head, and I don't know about wrinkles.
Well, that's not a good thing
spots,
to say, man.
Spots.
You better edit that part out. Look at this picture of my wife, but I'm seeing.
She don't listen to this. But like you can see all the details. Like it's really good on here. The cinematic mode, I think will be great when I do my wedding stuff. But on a day-to-day basis, I'm not even going to remember to even do that. So that's the problem. It's not built into the video camera. It should just be built into the video portion, not its own separate software section.
You have to activate that like the portrait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Slido, and we can talk about things we love or not love. We're going to do another episode regarding the top 5 things about Apple we liked in 2021 and disliked in 2021, and what we're looking for in 2022. We're going to do all those things, next episode. But I'm really like, the phone is great. I'm happy I have it. I think it's better having it. I just don't think the battery is as good as people say it is, and because I'm still like right now I'm at 27%, and I woke up at 8:30 today. So I think that's still really fast draining. And that could be just me having something on here that I don't even know that's running. That could be really draining it.
Yeah.
Also, I restored from a backup, so who knows what came over from that. But overall, it's fine.
Cool.
I couldn't be happier. But as far as like buying the new items, I'm very happy I made the investment to do it. End of day.
There you go.
So Frank, you got anything else for me? Anything you want to know about?
No, man. I think we covered all the bases.
What are we doing for New Year's? What do we got going on?
No,
are you actually going to go anywhere with all this COVID outbreak right now? Because I sure am not.
No. We're thinking of maybe going to Florida sometime in January, but we'll see. So I may go down for a month or two.
Okay. Don't forget to bring your computer though, Frank. We still got podcasts to record here.
I won't forget to bring it, man.
All right.
Just like we did last time we were down there.
That's right. But for my New Year's, I'm just going to my sister's house. A couple people there. That's it. I think going anywhere right now is a terrible idea. There just seems to be too much of an outbreak right now. I got my booster shot, so I'm all good.
Oh my God. I got my booster. Holy, I was in bed for 2 days, man.
Really?
My arm was killing me.
Well, see, because of these amazing arms right here, I had no problems.
Yeah. They broke a couple needles trying to get through that massive bicep, right?
Yes, sir. It's very hard to get a needle into this body.
We got the shots on Thursday. I felt fine. Friday, I was like, not so much. Took a little nap. And then Saturday, I was in bed all day Saturday. All day Saturday. And Sunday, I got up, I felt better. Yeah.
Poor man.
I know. And then, today, my sister wanted me to run the Walgreens because they had the at-home tests,
Mm-hmm. That was a big thing, by the way. Christmas Eve, when I was out and about, my God, people were buying self-tests like crazy.
Yeah.
Like one guy bought 3 of them.
I went to Walgreens, got 2 for her. And then her son-in-law went back and they were sold out. So I went to the other Walgreens, got 2 more for her. So they got 4, but and they're not cheap. They're like $25 a piece.
Yeah.
So, but hey,
you got to pay to be safe. You know what I'm saying?
It's it. Yeah.
So, all right, everybody. I want to thank you very much for joining us for this version of the podcast. We appreciate you guys being patient with us over the last month, trying to get over this whole thing. But I'm happy to be back here. Frank's happy to be back here. Next episode, we are going to talk about the top 5 best and worst of Apple from 2021. So stay tuned for that. I am Will. I am TLD. And I will see you guys next week. And I love every single one of you.
Peace out, man.